Welcome to another episode, season 15, The Middle Ground with JLE, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience. On music copyright, the music on Facebook. Always got to say that. We got another phenomenal guest for you today. We have international development finance coach, small business consultant, author of Mississippi, an Open Letter, ECPI University Adjunct Professor, Looking Further LLC founder, CEO, Fractional CFO, and Doctoral candidate, Stephen Lucas. Welcome to the show, sir. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Gotta get you right. Where we at? Wait a minute. There we go. There we go. I'll be forgetting that part. You muted. I'm mute.
All right, cool. My apologies.
No problem, brother.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. First question, what led you to this path?
All right, so the international business path really kind of birthed as a kid. So I don't know if I'm dating my age, but so I grew up watching the National Geographic channel, the Discovery Channel.
Okay.
And they always show videos of different countries, different cultures, how people were living, and that always, sparked my interest. I mean, I grew up just like any other, African American kid, especially from the South of Mississippi, thinking, pro sports is the way to, advance in life and careers. And I did think I was gonna go to the NBA, but then when I realized, like, yeah, maybe I should just, focus on my studies, I started, locking in on that. But no, that's what really sparked my interest as a kid. National Geographic, seeing all the cultures. And then when I was pursuing different colleges to go to, I noticed that the University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss, they had an international business program. So I was like, all right, cool. I could go there. I can major in international business and then minor in real estate. But unfortunately, when I was an incoming freshman, they actually canceled the program in international business. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me figure out something out. So my advisor was like, you can take real estate and you can double major in managerial finance because they are similar courses. It's only 6 extra hours in credit. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll do that. That sounds good. And then I'll minor in French because I was like, one day I'm going to get into international business.
Okay.
And so a lot of folk wasn't really understanding that, especially coming from where I'm from, it's a majority African-American community, county. Like, why you want to do that? Especially what you see on the news when they show foreign places or things that's happening abroad, they always show the negative thing. And so I was like, it don't matter to me. I'm still interested in it. And I was fortunate my junior year to do a internship in Washington, D.C. It was like, you remember the show Real World on MTV?
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like a whole bunch of us in one house. We didn't know each other. All trying to do an internship in the nation's capital. And it was like, you got to find your own internship. And so I was able to start with the Development Finance Institution, OPIC at the time, Overseas Private Investment Corporation. And that kind of just expanded my eyes into like, oh, this is really a thing. I can really do this. You know what I mean? And from there, I just kind of maneuver my way through that path, man. I had to kind of trailblaze my own path, so to speak.
Okay, that's awesome. So what is Looking Further LLC?
So Looking Further LLC is my company. I just founded back in August. So last year in the Trump administration, when they were first coming onto the scene last year, I had actually just started a position with the U.S. Agency for International Development. I had took a couple of years off from international business and development for the birth of my daughter. I didn't want to have to travel a lot, being a first-time parent. It's a big difference being in Egypt trying to get home versus being in Texas trying to get back to America.
Absolutely.
It's not a skip and a hop. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I was like, man, let me chill out for a little minute and see what that's like. But maybe I would say maybe after I took my paternity leave, I kind of got the itch again to get back into international business, because it really gave me a time not only just to be with my daughter and bond with my daughter, but also gave me time just think about life in general and my next career moves. And so yeah, once that happened after my paternity leave, I started applying for different opportunities abroad as well as domestic that's involved in international business. And then I accepted a position with USAID back in. I was a contractor with USAID back in November of 2024, and I was going to start the top of January. So I was like 2 weeks in January 2025.
Mhm.
Executive order started flying. I caught a stray.
Oh,
Got the layoff in February of
oh,
last year, and so, but at the time, it was I was going through my fast, my Daniel fast, so I wasn't really um, paying attention to what was going on externally, outside noise and news. I was kind of locked in on that, and so my mindset was like, all right, cool, God must got something better on the way.
mhm,
So my plan, even from the jump, I was like, I was gonna start this new gig, get familiar with it, and then pick up my doctoral classes in the spring. And so I was like, with that happening, I was like, I'm gonna still stick to the program. Of course, I'm gonna apply to opportunity just like everybody else. And and so in my doctorate program, one of my assignments was to do a feasibility analysis. What a feasibility analysis or a study is basically the analysis or research you do before you even get to the business plan. So you really just trying to validate the idea of that particular business model. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do a feasibility study on what I used to do pro bono. So I used to do the kind of work that I do now, for pay now, for profit now. I used to do it pro bono during COVID. I used to reach out to people in my network, colleagues, classmates. It was like, hey, let me look at your financials and do a financial model forecast for you, so you can see what your projections look like in 6 months, 7 months, a year, or 2 years, especially if you're trying to scale your business or even do like a startup. Um, and so I was like, let me take a real uh, in-depth analysis and get like a 2 for 1, get a good grade on my assignment and do something that's applicable to me right now. So it went over well with my professor. He was like, Stephen, this is the epitome of e-entrepreneurship. And I was like, all right, cool. And so after my 100th application, I didn't hear back from nobody from like different opportunities. I was like, all right, I'm going to go full throttle with this. I had pitched the idea to my wife to do my own thing. And she was like, if you want to do it, do it. Much respect to my wife. I love her. She's my favorite person.
shout out to wife.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, man, I got linked up with a business coach with the Small Business Development Center of Maryland. They have them all nationwide, SBDC entities, and I showed him my feasibility study. He thought it was a good idea. He was like, man, this is good work. You should convert it to a business plan. So I was doing that while finishing up my doctorate class in entrepreneurship. And then I launched it in August. And I kind of been hitting the ground running ever since then. And so, fortunately, it's so crazy, man, because honestly, I mean, you know this too as an entrepreneur and the various businesses that you're a part of. There are moments when you ask yourself, like, what is this? You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
when you first starting out, I was like, what is this? What is happening? And then it's always by the end of the week, God kind of like give me a sign like, hey, you're on the right track. Like, just keep going. Just keep going. And so I kept getting those every week, whether if it's somebody hitting me back that I reached out to maybe 2 weeks ago, for a conversation or for a potential business collaboration. And now I'm really starting to see the fruits of that labor. So I'm doing presentations with small business incubators in the state of Maryland, getting in front of small businesses, micro entrepreneurs,
Nice.
showing them the importance of financial model projections, how important that is for your strategic planning, as well as gaining new business or investments from potential investors. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey, and I basically just picked up where I left off when I was doing this pro bono when I had free time, and just convert it to a full-fledged business. So I'm able to work with different companies and businesses from different industries. That's what I like about it, because everybody needs an income statement. Everybody needs a balance sheet and cash flow.
Oh, there
And
you go.
a lot of folk from what I seen, all right, my Southern draw coming out now.
No, you tell them county clubs have nightmares real quick.
So a lot of folk, yeah, so a lot of people wait till it's time to do their income taxes, which is around this time of season, to find out if they had a profit or a loss, right?
Yeah.
But in your accountant, typically most accountants are just going to do your taxes, see what kind of return you're going to get, and we'll see you next year. But it depends. I don't want to say all, because I want to put everybody in one bucket, but typically, when in terms of like seeing what you expect to make in 6 months or a year or 2-3 years down the line, they're not really providing those type of services. So I kind of fill in the gaps for small businesses who don't have that capacity to hire a full-time CFO, and show them what their potential could be, based on certain projections that we work together on. So that's how it kind of came about. Layoff, doctorate class, prayer.
Hey, I understand that, bro.
Prayer and just execution, man. Execution and patience.
I understand that, being laid off for a year and 3 weeks. I get that. What is a fractional CFO? Never heard that before.
No, cool. It's a good question. Because I actually just learned of it last year too, when I just jumped off and started doing my own thing. So basically, it's a CFO, typically a chief financial officer. They are the people that's doing the financial planning and analysis of a company, right? So they're doing, some of them are managing like the audit process in terms of your accounting, reviewing the budgets on a consistent basis, making sure you're hitting your mark or target goals, and also providing, like I was mentioning before, a forecast, evaluating the financial statements or creating the financial statements, so you can make sure you're in the positive. I would say the green, making sure you're gaining money, not taking losses or even break even, so to speak. And so as a fractional CFO, it's basically that same type of concept, but it's on a contractual basis. Again, there are a lot of companies that have these high titles or this particular role, but for a fractional, this is stepping in the gaps for people who don't have that capacity to hire a full-time CFO, or maybe they might be transitioning a new team in, and so they just need somebody to step in the gaps. I fill in the gaps for businesses from a financial standpoint. I'm in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. I have to probably get at you in due time.
Yeah. No. I enjoy it. It's again, it's fun. Numbers can tell a story.
True.
And I've always enjoyed that process in analyzing companies, because in international business, in my international work, I've evaluated companies from all over the world, whether it's corporate banks, small entities in the infrastructure, education, renewable energy sectors. So I've evaluated many companies. So being able to take that type of skill set and transfer it to domestic small businesses, that's fun for me.
Okay. Now you're a fellow author. What led you to write Mississippi an open letter?
Yeah, that's my first audio book. So that is that came from, so I write poetry and speeches. I kind of started doing that when I moved. So when I moved from Mississippi to the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I had a lot of people always asking me to like repeat myself because of my Southern accent was so thick. And so I was like, well, I want people to understand me when I'm talking. So I found out about this, what you call it, Toastmasters International. And so I started a Toastmasters club at the organization. And then that's what kind of birthed me writing poetry, writing speeches. And that Mississippi Open Letter is something that was, a byproduct of that. And so basically what it's about is I write it in a way as, so growing up in Mississippi, I didn't really know much about Mississippi history in terms of Black history, right?
Okay.
And so I call Mississippi in the book Mama. You know, it's like a child writing to its mama. It's like a child that moved away, and it's like, hey, mama, I've learned about you. I've read about you. How come I've learned more about you being away from you than I ever did while I was living there? So it's pretty much I'm having a lens of like a child talking to his mother, realizing there's a lot of things that I didn't know about while growing up in the state, and you know, asking the state why, or asking my mother why, Mississippi that is, why I never knew these things. After I'm a huge autobiography buff, so I was read about Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, man, the list goes on. Frederick Douglass, of course, Sojourner Truth, Harry Belafonte autobiography. So a lot of autobiographies I've read, and I've always seen Kwame Ture. Yeah, all these people, man. But
Malcolm X.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Malcolm X for sure. But everybody touched on Mississippi in some form of fashion.
Okay.
And so that's the kind of history and stuff that I didn't know about, you know, while growing up there. And I learned about it, you know, being away from reading all those books. And so that's pretty much is an open letter, like, you know, talking to Mississippi about things that I didn't know happened. And then also towards the tail end of it, I give room for hope in like the I don't want to say the rhetoric, but how it is perceived, how Mississippi is perceived, you know, in terms of education, poverty levels. And I kind of speak hope towards the latter parts of the letters as I break them down. Because one time, my first time overseas, I was in London, and I was wilding. I did this. No, I'm saying I was wilding because it's random. Like, what's this called? Meetup. You remember the app Meetup? They still probably got it. And I was like, I was looking for Black professionals in London. I was like, maybe I can just go and just hang out, see what, you know, what they're about. And so I actually did that. You know, I'm solo dolo. Never been out the country ever. And I'm over here just going to some random place, meet up young Black professionals in London. And so
okay.
But now when I connected with them, there was what their image of Mississippi all came from, like movies, like what's that movie? Burning Mississippi or something like that. Mississippi Burning. And so all of like media, you know, how it is portrayed. And I was like, nah, I mean, I ain't even like that. You know what I mean? I ain't grew up on no farm. Like, I mean, my roads paved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, we got small towns. We got small towns for sure. It's anywhere. But it's not what they perceive it as, like from what they see in the media. So I was just trying to like dispel that. And so a lot of those experiences that I encountered there, I kind of share that in a book in some form or fashion. So yeah, that's how Mississippi Open Letter came about. But it's fun. It was just one of those things I wanted to do. Like I was like, I could do that. So I just did it.
Okay. Would you write another book?
Yeah. I do plan on writing another book. So I plan on republishing all of my first works. I call it No Signal. So I used to write collections of poems in volumes of 4, and I call them No Signals. No Signals came from when I was an undergrad. You remember Wayne came out with No Ceilings? The mixtape. So I was like, if Wayne got no ceilings, I got no signals. Coming to an unknown network near you. But
I feel you. Okay.
So no, I used to do that. So No Signals, that was undergrad, but I used to do that. I'm a Kappa, so I was twirling my cane, and at the end of the, you know, I was finished twirling, I'd be like, no signals, coming to an unknown network near you, or whatever. So when I started writing my poetry and stuff, my roommate, I was like, man, what should I name it? He was like, man, you should call it No Signals, dog. And I was like, I bet. So that's how it came about. But no, I do plan on like republishing those earlier works along with some new stuff that I've written into another book. But I'm just looking for, you know, the right partnership editor to where I don't have to really do a lot of the front end work as a self-publisher. So yeah, when that come out, I'll let you know.
I definitely come back on here. We talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, you're an adjunct professor at ECPI University. What has
Yeah.
that experience been like?
It's been fun. So again, it's one of those things that again it's a blessing. And I tell this to my mentor, my therapist. I told him, so it's been really cool because that's something that I thought I would be doing after finishing my doctorate program.
Okay.
Maybe 2, 3 years down the line, I had it as one of my goals to do is be an adjunct professor or teach in some capacity. Um, and I'm teaching international business. I'm actually just finishing up a term this week. And yeah, it was just one of those things. I was like, hey, I call her my mom. She's like, my god mom out here in Maryland. She's like a mom away from home. And she was like, "Maybe have you ever considered teaching?" I was like, "Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, what the heck, especially during this time when I was like, applying for different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Cause there's something, man, something in my spirit is just like, I put in a lot of work, a lot of time in international business, international development in general, and I
Mm-hmm.
just can't let that go. And I feel like I have, not saying I know everything, but I know enough to where I can share with others. And so yeah,
Nice.
when I got that opportunity, I was ecstatic about it. I was able to do it remotely, and it's been fun. It's been fun because I've been able to, you know, give a piece of me to people that might not even pursue international business, but have some kind of awareness of what it's like to work in international business or have something to be considerate of when they're traveling abroad. Whether if it's like the fluctuation of currency, make sure how you translating your dollars when you're going over there, or how you greeting somebody from a different culture or background. Really giving them providing them the real world experience of what it's really like working in that environment. But it's been really
Mm-hmm.
cool. It's been really fun. Again, it's one of those things that I thought I'd be doing some years down the line, but God was like, "Nah, we're gonna do this right now."
Yeah, some time to get sped up
Yeah,
for you.
it's been good though.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
already. Now, was a doctoral candidate, was that your end game in learning?
Well, nah, it was one of those things that was in the back of my mind for many years. So I finished my master's in 2013 in international management, and then I was like, you know, I was done. Like I was done. I'm done with school. I'm not, But then when again, it's always been in the back of my mind. My dad had 7 master's degrees, but he
Wow.
never pursued his doctorate, and so that was another part of it too. But really, the driving factor was my daughter, and I was like, well, if I'm going to pursue this, I want to get it out the way before she gets into extracurricular activities, and I really
Oh,
want to be present. And when she's active, she just turned 3 back in November, so
nice.
I want to be like mentally, physically there. When she gets more active in things. And again, it's one of those things. I pitched it to my wife. I always get her permission before I jump off and do anything. Um, but even prior to her, I was like speaking with people in my that I work with that has their doctorate, and just trying to get a feel for what they think about it. And so I pitched it to my wife. I was like, "Hey, maybe I should just apply, just see what happens. Just see. I'm just gonna apply." And so I had applied. Ended up getting a partial scholar, like a 50% scholarship to the first institution that I applied to.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, this don't happen frequently, getting that type of scholarship for a doctorate program." And it was so it's with the International School of Management. And so it allowed me to still be involved in international business when I took that quick career pivot from international business for the birth
Mm-hmm.
of my daughter. So it still allowed me to be in that space. And but that's been a joy too, man. I really enjoyed that because it kept my mind working in that consistently while doing, my regular job or work. And then it also encouraged me to go back into this space, like, full time and working. So, but no, after this, I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
I thought about getting a doctorate. Like, I don't want to do no schoolwork though. Like maybe one day.
Yeah, hey, just test it out. I mean, I thought I was just gonna be testing it out too, and here I am, knee deep in it. So I have about 3 more classes left before I start
Nice.
focusing on my dissertation coursework.
Okay.
And so, God willing, I'll be knocking those classes out, this year, and then all of 2027, I'll be locking in on my dissertation because my goal is to get it done in 4. Although I have up to 6 years to complete it. And typically I take maybe 2 to 3 classes a year. So last year I only took 1 because the typical time that I would do to take another, the typical time I would do to take another course, I use that time to create my own business and looking for the LLC. So really just applying the concepts that I learned throughout my career to what I'm doing now. But I'm jumping back into it this year. I was highlighted as one of the like a student story a couple of years ago. So that's been pretty cool. And they've been very, 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 very sincere and supportive of me throughout that whole process of the whole layoff and then starting my own thing and all of that. So they're a really good school, based in Paris, but they have different locations throughout the world. The closest one the only one in the US is in New York. So
okay, hey, you gonna knock it out, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no doubt on that. Now we have reached a part of the show where you can promote whatever you have coming up.
All right. So on February the 2nd, I am working with the Maryland Women's Business Opportunity Center. I'll be delivering a free presentation so people can sign up and join on the importance of a 3-statement financial model forecast. And then I will be delivering that same type of presentation, I believe, February the 13th with the Small Business Development Center as well. And that's also free. So people can definitely tune in to that to understand the importance of a 3-statement financial model forecast. And I have some other upcoming events in March, but those dates have not been solidified. But just in the immediate future, that's what's happening right now for me. And I'm still working with different businesses, as the opportunity presents themselves. So in particular, yes, I still work in international trade business. That's my primary, but I enjoy working with businesses in the fitness and wellness space. I love exercising. That's my thing. I'm a cyclist, so I love working with businesses and companies that's in that space, as well as the tech industry as well. I haven't worked with a tech company just yet, but I'm just more so just interested and curious of how the business model works. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I do now.
How long you been a cyclist?
About what year is it? So maybe almost, I'd say about 6 years, give or take. So of course I retired from basketball after I ruptured my patella tendon in 2015. I retired, and then so I took like a couple years after that. I started running. I did a half marathon, and then a little while after that, I started getting like shin splints. And so I was like, let me try something different. And then I got into cycling, and I just enjoyed it. So the longest I've done is 50 miles in about 4 hours. And yeah, so the longest I've done is 50 miles in 4 hours. So, and every year I do the cycling ride for Alzheimer's. So I raise money for Alzheimer's, and I think that's around like April, May. And I'll typically do like a 25 miler for that. But no, I enjoy it, man. I just put my headphones in and just ride, man. I don't ride with a group because I just be rapping, I be singing, I be listening to gospel, I be switching. I might be listening to William Murphy at one moment, and then I go straight to Boosie next.
Okay, I'm with you.
So yeah. But nah, man, that's just how I just enjoy it. It's a way to clear my mind and get outdoors and stay fit.
Now, you ever done a spin class?
No, I'm straight on that. They do too much.
That's next level.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
straight
working
on
out in Wayne State Gym, and I was like, let me see what they in there doing. And they had some music going, and the instructor was going
that.
like the Flash. I'm
Man,
like, oh no, I crash out. Keep
nah.
up with the pace.
Let me just Let me stay outdoors. I ride on paved trails. I don't be riding in the streets because some people can't drive. That's a little risky.
Unfortunately.
So I stay on paved trails.
Got you.
But that whole spin class, no, I'm straight. Y'all got it.
Now, what has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
I think the level, I think it's two things, is the level of patience you have to have when you're determined to achieve a certain goal or objective. And I think there's levels to it. What I mean by that is, so with my first major injury, again, I was hooping. I had tore my Achilles hooping.
Ooh.
And that type of patience is, it's a physical, injury. So you really gotta, when you gotta take time to heal, you gotta take time to walk again, feel confident in that leg or whatever, in that foot. So dealing with something that has hindered me physically, that's a level of patience. But also the other level of patience is you have a certain goal or objective that you are striving for. I mean, you're doing all the right things, but it seems like nothing is aligning up with what you're getting at. You know what I mean?
And yeah.
and that level of patience is different because you still got to stick with it. And so that builds a sense of discipline for yourself. I'm a big fan of Kobe, so Mamba mentality,
Me too.
get better in something every day. So, so that's been one of the challenges, is just, increasing that level of patience throughout the process. And then, believing when don't nobody know exactly what the heck you're doing, so,
Yes.
sometimes people don't understand it, but they'll understand it after a while. I think one of my fondest moments was, so after I finished my master's program, it was the first time my parents came up to visit me in Maryland, and so I showed them, I showed them my apartment, took them to my church, I showed them where I worked, and then the day after graduation, like the hotel was right near a Target, and me and my mom had walked to Target, and then she looked at me, she patted me on my back, she was like, "Okay, now I understand." So she patted me on my back, and she was like, "Now I understand, like, why you was going after what you was going after in terms of like pursuing a career in international business." And because I remember freshly graduating undergrad, and I was like, "Nah, man, I got to get up out of here." I mean, Mississippi, I love Mississippi. That's my home. That's my state. You feel me? But it's just like I knew there was something else outside of, the SIP where I grew up, in a whole nother world out there that I wanted to explore. And they didn't understand. It was like, you can get a job anywhere around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course I could, but it's just like, nah, this ain't for me right now. You know what I mean?
Understood.
So, but nah, that's how I think I just lost thought when I thought about that. But nah, just trusting that process. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. Because some people don't understand it when you tell them
Only
what
God gave
you
you
are
the vision.
pursuing. Yeah.
You
So
gotta see it through.
gotta see it through. I ain't got no choice. That's just how I'm built. I ain't got no
Everybody
choice.
might say, "Why are you walking over? That's weird." Don't worry about that. I see. And everybody hurts when you get there.
Yeah. So patience, the level of patience, and then like believing in yourself and trusting the process. Not too many people are familiar with it. I mean, it requires sacrifice, time, money, all that.
Yeah, bro. I relate. Doing this, I heard people ask different type of questions like, God told him to do it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah.
He know what needs to do to get where it need to be. I'll do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in your words, what has been your impact in the community?
I think my impact in the community has been consistent. I think it's been consistent in a way of, so when I first moved to the DMV or DC Maryland area, I started doing it's called Everybody Wins. So it's a nonprofit program that focuses on the importance of reading outside of school. And so I used to go to this elementary school like once a week and read with third graders, fourth grader, fifth grader. I have a mentee throughout that whole school term, but also I was doing that, but then I was also active in my church as a greeter. And so I kind of built that's like my second family, like is my church. Especially again, originally not from being from Maryland like that. So I think my commitment or my way of giving back is being active in those areas. That's why I say consistent, because I've been doing that ever since I moved out here, since 2011. So I think that's pretty much my impact overall, is being consistent. And I think especially now as a professor teaching, just being able to share what I know and don't know to others is just who I am, and I guess part of my DNA, because my dad was a principal and a teacher too. My grandparents were in the school system. My sister's a teacher, is in the education field. So I guess it's part of my DNA. But yeah, just being consistent. Yeah. Do your part. That's what I look at. That's what I think about. You just got to do your part. If everybody do their part in the world in a positive manner, everybody be all right.
That's true. Now, hopefully, you made you comfortable. Give me that Yoda game. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Be open. And what I mean by that is, be open to the possibilities. Don't limit yourself on what you might be somewhat confined in your particular environment. Whether wherever you're growing up at, or mental state, just don't limit yourself. I've seen somebody say exposure leads to expansion, and so the more you expose yourself to different activities, whether if it's books, music, sports, writing, anything that's in a constructive manner, you'll gravitate towards what your natural given abilities are, or your gift is, and just work that gift. But it takes time. It takes trial and error. And even when you realize you have a gift in something, that doesn't mean you're just perfect. You're 100% perfect. Nobody's perfect. You still gonna have to work that gift just as much as if you never had it before. So I think just, again, being open to the possibilities, and then just working your way to get better every day. That's how I see it about like finding your purpose. Of course, you got to find it. I mean, in my opinion, prayer, patience, and putting in the time and the work to get better. So I apply that same method. Like, so of course, like, again, I was a hooper. So I used to go outside shooting, putting up 100 shots a day. You know what I mean? Different spots around the little basketball court. You know what I mean? I used to put up shots. And so I kind of take that same method, or even playing drums or playing music. I spend like 2 hours a day on just rudiments. You know what I'm saying? Or reading music or something, or playing. So I kind of take that same approach to whatever skill set or profession that I'm doing now. Just like I'm saying, if you have a certain gift and you realize you're really good at it, work at it every day, as much as you can. Of course, you need breaks. Everybody got a break, but once you find it, just continue to hone it and do the best you can. And I think gifts will make room for you, right?
What position did you play?
I was point guard. I was 1, 2, and 3 guard, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I ain't played much. I was on the bench.
Hey, you played, brother. Someone actually put you on the bench. They saw value because I wasn't that sweet.
They gonna be like, yeah. I was like, nah. I ain't play like that. I was too busy playing street ball. Me and the coach butted heads a lot.
Okay,
but it's all good though.
that happens. Well, how'd you like being in the middle ground?
No, it was fun, man. It was cool. It was fluid conversation. Great questions you asked, and I enjoyed it. So it's all good.
Awesome. If you know anybody want to share their story, we'd like to hear it.
For sure. I'll definitely keep you in mind and let my people know.
Okay. So I want to thank International Development Finance expert, small business consultant, author of Mississippi, an Open Letter, ECPI University Adjunct Professor, Looking Further LLC, Founder, CEO, Fractional CFO, Doctoral Candidate, soon to become Doctor, Stephen Lucas.
Oh, wow. Appreciate it, man. I'm just doing it. That's a lot.
I got to bring out, man. The first time.
No, that's right. You're right.
Hey, first time watching the show, 43 countries, all age demographics rock with it. Appreciate everybody. So somebody in Russia, China is watching this. Or listening, because everybody been on Spotify too. So I always got to upload the audio because you're gonna hear it. Because these stories are phenomenal.
No,
I get to be front row, like, wow, this dude went from Mississippi. Okay. Now he teaching. That's awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, man. I enjoyed it. And look forward to connecting in the future.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. And I'll have a new episode tomorrow. If anybody watched the show, be a rerun. But we're gonna talk sports in another 30 hour. So a lot of stuff to talk about because oh my goodness, these coaches hiring. This is professional, so just people know this professional show. Sports, we talk trash. It's fun entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody saying I appreciate you tuning in. All right. Well, y'all enjoy yourself. Be safe this weekend. I'm gonna put all this together and I'll link you on LinkedIn once I put latest episode, all your stuff to get your book and all that on there.
Yeah.
And everybody be safe, and we'll do it again next time.
All right. All good, man. Appreciate you. Take care.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to purchase my latest products, my books and music, go to Amazon.com. I have new merchandise on the way. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Middle Ground with JLE Network. Thanks for coming. Detroit, welcome to the D, baby.